Hey everybody, it's Saturday, December 5th. I got a little bit done yesterday recording, so I'm probably included with this. I had to run to the mainland. I have been busy baking cookies. Believe it or not, I bought 20 pounds of flour the day before yesterday. I've already went through half of that, and I haven't even got to the Zebla or the Zemoli, which between the two of them, it's about 10 pounds of flour. This morning I got up at 6 and I did 8 or 9 dozen of the cream cheese spritz cookies. So they're done. I think so far I've got 6 or 7 different kinds of cookies, probably close to 60 dozen or better, with lots more to come. And I think I've already spent like $500 on ingredients, and anybody that bakes cookies knows it is not cheap to make cookies. But I make trays up for Christmas gifts, so, you know, I enjoy making the cookies. When I get back, I am going to mix up the Ewan, and they take about, well, it takes just an hour alone to mix the dough because it's a macaroni dough, and you knead it 3 times, and in between each knead, you have to let it rest for 15, cover it with the bowl and let it rest for 15 minutes. And then you go back and you knead it again, and then you cover it with the bowl and let it rest 15 minutes. And then you have to roll it out really thin, and then you cut it into strips. Then you tie it into the bows, which is painstaking because it tears so easy. And then you fry them, and it puffs up, and then you put them on a tray with paper towels just so the grease drains down, and then you sift confectionery sugar over top of them. They're very delicate, but oh, so good. They're one of my favorite cookies. But I had a list of stuff I had to pick up, and I've made some, I tried a new cookie yesterday. It was pumpkin molasses cookies, and apparently they were a big hit. I have hubby and Barb tasting all the cookies for me. Let me know. I tried a new thumbprint. It was an allspice thumbprint with mint chocolate in the middle, with confetti jimmies sprinkled on top. And then I found a recipe. These are on top of the Italian cookies I'm doing. And then I found a recipe for a salty caramel shortbread cookie, or a thumbprint cookie. So I'm going to make those too. I've been wanting to go out and video lights, but we've been having a lot of rain. Everybody else got snow. We're just getting rain, and I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem. It's raining now. It can rain all winter for all I care. Just as soon as I have the snow. So I'll put up with the rain. Unloading the groceries and putting the groceries in the car isn't any fun, but it is what it is. Been working on my sock. I almost have a pair. I'm on the foot now of this sock, and then I'll have another pair. I have a pile of green yarn that I am trying to untangle. I haven't, last 3 or 4 days, I haven't sat much. I've already been on my feet in the kitchen cooking, baking the Christmas cookies, and as I bake, I do dishes, and I clean up as I'm going, so I don't have this huge mess when I'm done baking. So it just makes it easier. Right now my counter has got everything on it, that I'm using. Most of the main ingredients, a lot of the ones that I use, just for a little bit here and there in recipes, I just use those and then put them away. But the sugar, the cream cheese, the eggs, everything that needs to be at room temperature, I have, on the counter, so it stays at room temperature. Because I have found that if you don't have your ingredients at room temperature, things have a tendency to go wrong when you are baking them. And also, as with my coconut macaroons, the first batch ended up being meringue cookies with coconut. Because when I went to beat, instead of, I added the sugar and coconut before I whipped the egg whites to bring it to peak. Because you whip the egg whites first, then you add the sugar, till it peaks again. Then you fold in the coconut. So now I've got to make another batch of the coconut macaroons, and then I'll drizzle chocolate over top. And I got, pretty much I had to get some more nuts. I sent Happy was at the store yesterday, and I told him to get me some hazelnuts because I need to make the zemoli. They have hazelnuts in them, and he couldn't find them, and I needed some dates because I'm gonna make some coconut date squares, and he couldn't find those either. So I said, don't worry about it, I'll get them when I go to the store. So I just went and picked everything up. The only thing I couldn't find was orange flavoring, so I may have to improvise on my orange flavoring. But nope, I'll probably bake in the next couple of weeks to finish it. It's going to take me a couple of weeks to finish all the cookies up. Hopefully I have enough containers for everything. And then the week of Christmas, I will make my trays up and deliver all of those to everybody for Christmas. But that's about all for Vlogmas Day 5. A little bit of Day 4 will be attached to this. Now this is on my phone, so I cannot transfer any of the video from my computer. I'm going to try to see if I can pull my video from here to my computer and then put it all together. We shall see. I'll have to do that in between baking. But I'm trying to do this Vlogmas everyday thing. I'm trying. But I want to give a special, I'm sending hugs and lots of love to a very special friend of mine who's having a hard time. You know who you are. I messaged you this morning. And here's a big hug and a big kiss for you. I love you, my friend. You know who you are. I love all my friends, but this person in particular, I think just needs a little extra. Off subject, I did get some bad news. I spoke with my sister Hannah. She's the second oldest, and she was tested positive for COVID. So that's 4 members of my family that have tested positive for COVID. They all live down in the States. And she said it's pretty much like having a really bad case of the flu. The hardest part is the crap that's in her chest. She says it's like paste, cement in her chest, and she's having trouble getting it out. And she just generally feels crappy. She works in a nursing home, and she, has been exposed to it and has had a rough time. So please keep your prayers for my family. And, my niece is having a difficult time because she has an underlying condition. My nephew and my niece's husband both have gotten over it, and pretty much, in less than a week they were over it. But I just will be glad when this is all behind us and we have some kind of normalcy, whatever that's going to be in the future. I don't know. So, hugs, smiles, and happiness. Buona Natale. And I will see you in the next portion of this video. If I get, I'll try to get some more video today. It's difficult for me to video while I'm baking when I have Puppy and Barb around because they think I'm nuts and they make too much noise. And the TV and stuff is in the background, and it kind of drowns out when I'm trying to talk to y'all. So anyhow, until the next installment or the next Vlogmas Day, if I have to end this out, then I will come back on and close out the video. I will see you next video. Bye for now. Then you take your dough and you roll it out real thin, and then I'm just tying little baby bows like this. It's a macaroni dough, so it's very elastic. I'm doing this here. You have to keep the dough you're not doing under a bowl so it doesn't dry out. It's like phyllo dough. So I'll do this, then I'll go over and fry this batch, and then I'll show you. I have some in the pan there to get the confectionery sugar on. So you just like this, and I tied some bows early on, but so I'm just doing little mini bows like this. It took most of the morning to make this because you knead it 3 times and let it rest in between. And this is Ewan, E-W-A-N. Italian it's spelled G-U-A-N-T-I, Ewanti. And the ingredients are just eggs, sugar, lemon juice, and flour. And basically what you do is I use my KitchenAid to mix, well no, I whisk this. You put your 4 eggs and 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, 3 tablespoons of sugar, whisk them up, and then approximately 2 cups of flour. And you just start with your hand mixing it, and then you put the dough and you work it, and the dough will be sticky, so you put some flour on your hands and you start manipulating it till it's all mixed well. Then you knead it the first time, and you flip the bowl over, use a glass bowl, and you let it rest for 15 minutes. Then you come back, knead it again, make sure you flour the board and your hands because it is a sticky dough. Knead it a second time, put the bowl over it, let it rest 15 minutes, come back and you do it a third and final time, and then you just cut it into sections and you roll it out real thin, and then you just cut it into strips. And I just do a little section at a time, and I'm just quickly doing this here. I get a plate full and then back over the stove and fry it. One thing about the Italian cookies, they do take a lot of time. It's worth it, they're good. It's a very light dough. So I will have to edit this video because there's some, I didn't realize I didn't shut it off last time when I was doing, I'm trying not to get it too close to the oil as I'm frying. And I still have one section of dough. I will show you that as soon as I finish this, tying all these up. And I'll put this with the vlog from yesterday and the day before, put them all together. I'll put them on the computer so I can get all the tree lighting and stuff. It'll be a little longer than normal, but it'll be a 3-day vlog or Vlogmas. And so I'll do it on the computer. It'll take a little bit of time to do it later on. I'll take a little break from cookies and go work on that. That one fell apart. Little pieces like this I'll just fry up. And then if they're real small, I'll just fry them up. Little pieces like this you just throw in. You can stretch the dough a little bit out. It's like I said, you can see it's a little elastic. You can kind of manipulate it a little bit. Almost done here, and then we'll go over to the stove. So I am going to pause you here. Flour all over me. Okay, now we're back to frying. You have to make sure your oil stays hot. So when you throw a piece in, see how it bubbles? So it's not quite hot enough, so I have to let this heat back up. So I'm going to pause it till it heats back up. Okay, fill the top so it's hot enough to start putting it in. Let's see, it'll start floating to the top. And say something worth waiting for. I know it's time consuming, but it's a lot of fun to do, a lot of fun to make. And I got one more round of dough to roll out and cut up. So we'll let that fry up. Alright, come over here. This is what's in the pan here, and you get your confectionery sugar. And then you just sift it over top. I kind of give it a little shake. And then you have the one here. You take it. We can use a little bit more sugar on this. And then I transfer it into this one over here. Now these are actually very delicate. Now when you store them, you have to store them uncovered, because one of the things that this dough does is it sweats. So you don't want to put them in the refrigerator or anything like that, because they do sweat. And they will keep for a while. Mom and I used to start baking cookies right after Thanksgiving. We make cookies
all the way up until before Christmas, because we gave a lot of trays out for Christmas gifts, which is what I'm doing. As expensive as it is to make cookies nowadays. Oh, you got piece. So you can see them frying here. And just check them. It's not dark. It's not frying enough yet, so I'll put some more in here. And continue frying it. I'm using my wok. I got that from my birthday. I love my wok. Alright, so I'm going to pause it here. I'm sure you're going to be bored watching this. I will show you the finished product.